English Language Learners by Cassie, Ruthie, and Sarah.
It is very important for an ESL student to take on a growth mindset attitude in their learning development. ESL students need lots of support and encouragement. These students tend to feel as though they are at a disadvantage, and because of this, they can develop a negative outlook on learning if they are not taught to approach learning with a growth mindset. They need to believe they will succeed and that they will always be learning and there is always room for improvement. An example for a growth mindset would be, even if they are not doing well in math, instead of saying to themselves, I will never be good at math, they can take an attitude of, I will train my brain to learn math. ESL students need to be encouraged to never give up and to keep challenging themselves. It is important from a pedagogical standpoint to set educational goals for the students and find ways to improve their learning through surface reflection, finding strategies and methods to reach those goals. It is important to give each child a fair chance to learn, looking at values and beliefs of the ESL students and self-reflecting on this is valuable in understanding and validating who the child is as a person. Self-reflection is central to growth and mindset, making sure the child's confidence and belief in themselves is strong.
It is very important for children to be made to feel welcome and validated. ESL children can be vulnerable to feeling isolated and segregated. It is critical that both the school as a whole and the classroom celebrate culture and the understanding of its meaning. Having a cultural dress day in schools to encourage part of their identity and multicultural food days to celebrate their traditions are very important in regards to the cultural inclusiveness for students. Another example would be if a child is from India and his main language is Punjabi. The teacher can teach the entire class a phrase from this child's language and have all students practice using it. Diversity awareness and identity development need to be taken into account when preparing for a growing multicultural population. Such things as who they are as a person, their beliefs, values, cultural identity, and where they fit in socially, ethically, and even politically are things to consider. Where the teacher is coming from in their own beliefs and how that will impact how the child is viewed should also be reflected upon.
Digital technology is a great way for ESL students to learn English. The app called Raz Kids is used among ESL teachers to help in students' learning and development. The program is set up for different levels of learners, so it is easy to have it fit where the child is in their learning and comprehension. Other uses of technologies are the students bringing in their iPads, and if they are not able to bring one in, the school library often offers this. Activities like having the ESL students create slides for a presentation are a lot of fun and helpful in learning English. In the book, Interweaving Curriculum and Classroom Assessment, on page 24, it talks about how the students are encouraged to bring their own device to school. There are thousands of educational applications which offer interactive ways to learn through gaming and social networking. The new pedagogy is constructivist in nature and is project-based. The Vygotsky approach looks at the zone of proximal development, which is used with ESL students to find out where they are in their learning, and by knowing this, a teacher can look a little bit ahead into this challenge. This is the pedagogy behind teaching ESL students. As a teacher, encouraging technology for learning surface reflection and focusing on reaching goals and finding strategies through online applications can make learning fun for the ESL student. It is a great way to build on what the child already knows and reflecting on the pedagogical connections to help accomplish those goals together. Critical and self-reflection needs to be considered in looking at their cultural and family imprint and how technology is viewed in their home. In looking at the teaching strategies that benefit ESL student, assessment is very important. Differentiated instruction is powerful and beneficial for ESL students. It is important as teachers to keep an editing checklist checked often for comprehension, look at student assessment, and conferencing. Collaborating with their peers can be very encouraging. And language is learned through imitation and habit formation, innate cognitive process, and social interaction. As a teacher, looking at various strategies to keep in mind when teaching is key to reflect on the surface reflection and asking questions like, did I spend enough time on certain activities, and am I keeping the students on task? Creating an environment working towards success is an important factor in critical reflection and looking at ways to create daily opportunities for students to be successful. Teaching ESL students is a hard task. However, there are so many teaching strategies that will help us be successful ELL teachers in the future. Here is a final diagram that our group has created around the teaching strategies that benefit ELLs. This will help us create in our classroom an awesome environment for not only ELL students, but also everyone inclusively.